Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Malikicowtipper going to bring you another game of StarCraft 2, and today my opponent is TheHype. And, when I hear that, it actually makes me think of the Red by Chevelle, and if I own the licensing to it, I would, open up my videos with the beginning of the Red, because it's just so awesome. So this is going to be a ZVZ. I don't think I've brought you guys a ZVZ in forever. I've been rafflecoptering Terran, and today was kind of a sad day for me. I think I lost 4 consecutive games in a row to Protoss. The first game, I saw the Protoss, he went for... God, it was such a silly build. He got a gateway inside of his base, then he went Nexus, and then he went Cybercore, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna blow you up with Banelings. And I went there, and by the time I actually got there with Banelings, he had dropped a Robo Bay, he had 2 Immortals, and they were right behind the Cybercore, so I had 20 Banelings, and they smashed into the Cybercore, and the Immortals are like, oh, something exploded? They didn't give a fuck. They're kind of like the Honey Badger. And I had no more Banelings. It was really, really sad. And then I just got completely overwhelmed, and at that point I was stuck doing Mass Ling 9 minutes into the game, and I scratched my head and thought, why the hell did I do this build? And the next game, oh, that was even worse. I got cannoned, and what happened is he dropped a pylon here and a pylon here, and the cannon here. So he locked his probe in, and I could do nothing about it because I could only get 1 Ling in to attack it at a time. And after he cannoned that base, he proceeded to go and cannon the next base, and this was on Antigua Shipyard, so I had nowhere to expand, and by the time I actually got something out, it was just a sad day. He completely beat me. One of the other games, I lost because I just suck. It was just a really bad loss on my part, so we're going to talk about this game. We're not going to talk about me getting owned by Protoss. I've seen Zerg do this lately, where they put down the gas and they start collecting gas before they get their pool down. We can see that he's actually floating a lot of minerals right now. I'm not really quite sure why our red Zerg is floating the 300 minerals, and that actually blocked that spawning pool. That's always so annoying when that happens. So he's left with a lot of them, and he is producing more workers. If we go to the income tab, we can see we're both at 14 out of 14. What that will make me comfortable doing is getting down my fast expand, which I think is pretty awesome. I'm going to get my gas, and I'm going to go for my pool. So my pool is about 25 seconds behind his. So you're 31 to 10. Yeah, about 20 seconds behind. His expansion, though, is going to be probably more than 20 seconds behind mine at this point. We can see I'm checking down here because I'm like, okay, that was kind of a late pool. You have gas really early. What the hell's going on? And I've seen 3 or 4 Zerg in the last week do this on ladder. Almost the exact same thing, so I'm not quite sure what the point of this build is. Maybe now that I'm casting one of these games, I will figure it out. So one benefit is that he's going to be able to go straight into speed. Come on, get your speed. Don't make a liar out of me. I really don't want to be called a liar right now. So we're going to take a look at my base and see what I'm doing. I'm collecting gas, and I'm going to be a little bit behind. I need to increase the speed at which I get my extractor, just because I end up waiting a little bit to get that speed out. But one thing that it does do for me is it allows me to pretty much go double queen right away, which I do like doing. So looking at this, he is now just starting. No, he hasn't even started his second expand yet. I just don't understand the point of this. 18 over 19, he's 1 harvester behind. His speed is out quick. A little bit quicker than mine, actually considerably quicker than mine. I have delayed getting my speed because I went Baneling Nest first because I'm awesome. So, for myself, taking a look at his build, seeing what he's doing, the only logical conclusion that I could come up to is that he's floating money, and he's going to do a mass wave of speedlings, and he's going to try to one-base me and end the game. That was the best conclusion I could come to. If we check this out, he has perfect saturation here. He has gas going right here. Speed's on his way. If I were him, if I was trying to do a one-base all-in, I actually would have pulled these guys off of gas. And right now, I have more lings out in the field than he does. He's rushing these guys back, and as long as I'm careful and I don't get caught out of position, my defensive Baneling Nest, this isn't meant to end the game. Oh, double expand. That's really curious. I guess I don't quite understand the point of putting both of these out at around the 530 mark. I don't see any direct benefit to this at all. He was able to build a mass wave of drones, so his income right now is 3 better than mine, but these expands are just so badly delayed. And I'm actually able to poke up here and get an idea of what's going on. These lings, they are going to unfortunately die. I knew I couldn't get away because they had speed, so when you know your units are going to die, absolutely will die, it's always best to stay and fight and try to do whatever damage you can. Production tab right now says that he's building 12 Zerglings, but I'm building 22 Zerglings. So this is one of those things where there's builds out there that allow you to get 3 bases down by 5 minutes. This build had him putting down 2 bases at the 5 minute and 30-second mark, having the economy for one base, no drones to transfer or anything of the sort. I'm morphing in a few banelings, and this is more or less to defend the front of my base. I'm going to move out just about when speed is done. We can see that I've pretty much cut drone production because I'm focusing on building more attacking units. And right now I'm going to switch a little bit, build a few more drones while these guys are running out there. But if I'm going to commit to this attack, I need to be sure that it'll work. So one thing is, I never scout or see this base, and that upsets me. And I didn't even figure him for a third base that quick. So he's doing a good job at pulling my lings back, and he's going to try to engage me back here at a choke point where it's kind of like the whole Sparta thing where his lings, because they just can't get surrounded, they actually kill 1-for-1 at that point. So these banelings right here, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Why are you doing that? No! Oh, it's so sad, Panda. The banelings wasted their lives, and the queen, unfortunately, she was not born before that. One baneling coming out, being wasted on broodlings. That is extremely upsetting. So right here we can see he has a lot of zerglings on the way. I'm rushing up, but these zerglings are kind of beaten up. And this one more last massive wave of zerglings, I'm not going to be able to get any of these guys out. You can see that they're all just dying. I should have had them attacking, trying to kill something, but they didn't. So there's more zerglings on the way. And oh god, I can't believe I never saw this base. He's got to be feeling so lucky right now. Like, why did he not take out my third base? If I would have seen that... Wow, I didn't even know that until I started watching the replay. That's pretty intense, actually. So I can tell you one thing, I don't kill that base. Yeah, I do not kill that base. That's very upsetting. We can see that I'm producing a few drones, some more banelings. Income right now is favoring him 33 over 26, and he is actually migrating a lot of drones down to this space, probably because he has to assume that I have no clue that it's there, and this hatchery is now trying to go up. So I'm sending out more zerglings. And again, just running right past. I never even thought to check for that. And he just does not have enough troops out on the map to try to stop this. So he is going to, you know, again, engaging at these chokes. I like what he's doing. I'm going to force the cancel of that base. And, no, don't let the drone get away. Come on, Zergling, get him. There you go. Ate him for lunch. So right here, more Zerglings coming up. Banelings coming in here. And I'm actually going to be able to run in. And I'm going to be able to get a good engagement with these Banelings. And just so many Zerglings dying. Getting all up in his base. The queen, she is going to have a very sad day. These Zerglings are going to have a sad day. There's one Baneling left. He just wants to explode all over something with his acid. Come on, blow up right there. That'd be so perfect. Yeah, he doesn't kill all that much. So a massive drone pull is actually going to pretty much save the day from all of those Zerglings. I was able to kill quite a few drones. I was able to snipe a queen, but the biggest thing is that this base is not touched. I didn't even find out about this base. So right now, I'm sitting back, and I feel like pouring a bottle of scotch right now and having a big old stogie, because I'm like, yes, I have denied your second base. I've killed your queen. You has no queen. And now I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to macro the crap out of you. I'm going to send these Zerglings in just to more or less see what they can see. I'm going to take a third base because third bases are cool. But if we look at this, he has a Roach Warren coming out. And he has a lot of money floated right now. So it wouldn't be surprising for me to see him, you know, punch out maybe like 10 or 15 roaches. You can see right here, I'm just not going to get a good engagement. Those lings actually doing a good job at cleaning up my lings. So one thing that I've done is I've now overextended and I've overcommitted to this attack. He can defend it with these lings, so I have two options. I can continue to push out with a lot of Zerglings and try to do something about it and end the game now, or I can do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to tech. So we take a look at this. I'm getting my Zergling attack level 1. I have this gas up and running. I will be starting to lair very, very soon. I have very good saturation here. My third base, not quite up and running yet. And what I have is I've got a spread here of defensive lings and banelings, so I don't know if I saw this Roach Warren. Yep, I can see it on my map, but I never clicked on it, so I'm not sure what text structure it was. I'm not quite that pro. If we take a look at this hold right here, there's a lot of roaches, there's a lot of lings. It would be very, very difficult to break this particular attack with just pure straight lings. So for myself, I'm going to lay down a Roach Warren because now that I have that, I want to go into hardcore, you know, just mass roach. But for some reason, I got melee attack level 1. I must have thought I was playing Protoss or something, because I'm upgrading for my lings, which is just so silly. So we have a lot of lings out here in the front. There's a lot of roaches looking very scary, and if we look at this, I don't have an answer for this at all, period. So these guys are going to run out, and that ling is going to actually reveal all those roaches to me. So I'm like, shit, I need Zerglings. And for some reason, I'm like, crap. Yes, I remember why now. My Roach Worm wasn't done, so I'm like, I'll do the only thing I can do. I'll produce Zerglings, and he's actually going to get a free hatchery right here, which is very, very upsetting. There's nothing I can do to defend it. And right now, I'm like, where the hell did that army come from? You know, he must have been banking the resources. And this queen, unfortunately, is just going to be a free kill. She's going to die. The Broodling's not able to do anything at all. So I was really wondering how he did this off of that base, but truth be told, he has this base up and running, which is kind of what's helping him out. Only 27 workers, but he was able to produce a lot of roaches, and right here, my Lings are able to get a decent surround, and they do have that +1 attack, which actually allows them to kill the roaches one hit faster, so it makes them quite a bit more effective. They're able to get a good surround and stop the roaches from running away, but the one thing is it takes 2 larvae to counter 1 larva worth of roaches. So off of his 2 bases, soon to be actually 3 bases, he can effectively outproduce me, and he can build more roaches than I can build Zerglings, making... Zerglings are cost-effective against roaches, but they are not larva efficient. So if I can produce 12 larvae a minute, I can get 24 Zerglings. But I would need 36 Zerglings to counter 12 roaches effectively. So right here we can see that these roaches dealing support damage from behind. His roaches are at 0 upgrades. That's really the only thing keeping me in this game, is my Lings have better upgrades than he does. They do not have their army yet. I mean, their armor's on the way. I'm getting Zergling melee level 2. So right now at this point in the game, I actually cancel my roach speed because I realize that I'm committing to stopping this with Zerglings, because that's where my upgrades are at. He's already producing roaches, so I'm just going to stick with what I have. I really should pull these guys off of gas, but we can see I can't spend my money effectively, so here comes the macro hatch. I'm doing everything I can to hold on because I know I need more larvae to stop these roaches, and I think he feels it. He knows that if he can get a ball of roaches, you know, about 20 in size, that Mass Ling just does not do much against it. Right here, I'm going to get a good surround on these roaches, dealing, again, a lot of damage to them, but check this out. He's killing more Lings than I'm killing roaches. He has a lot of roaches left. They're all very, very weak, but I lost all of those Zerglings, and right now it's not so much the mineral exchange that we're concerned about. We can see we both actually lost quite a bit. It's the larva exchange. I just simply can't spend my money quick enough right now, versus he, with roaches, which are far more larvae efficient, can spend them. So now that my macro hatch is up, I stand a chance, a small chance of being able to hold this off. And right now, if he actually pushed him with these roaches, he could more than likely end the game. I just do not have enough Lings. These spine crawlers are up, but they're just not going to be enough. And I think he knows that he's got me contained. He knows that I don't have the tech, or I'm waiting for some other type of tech to come out to be able to beat him. We check out production right now. He's getting his ground armor level 1 and his ground attack level 2 for missiles, excuse me, because he's planning on continuing Mass Roach. Myself, I laid down an infestation pit, and my pathogen glands are almost on the way. So one benefit that I have is I do have quite a bit of minerals banked, and I haven't spent a lot of gas. I've spent almost no gas because, let's just face it, none of my units have really required it. So one benefit that I'll have is I'll have 2-1 for my upgrades on my Lings, which is very nice. And having infestors with quite a bit of energy, if I can get a good fungal down on these group of roaches, just kiss them goodbye. Mass Ling Infestor is kind of an underused build, but it can actually do very, very well against Mass Roach as long as they don't have Mass Infestors. Because the one thing is, one fungal growth and your Lings are just done. You know, fungal growth is like, blah! I think it actually makes that very specific sound. So this build, you know, kind of out of desperation, but it's fun to kind of toss it out there. You know, it's kind of like going all in on Ace Deuce in a game of cards, which is just kind of stupid. You're like, why would you go all in on Ace Deuce? So one thing that I can say is I have not econned very well, and mainly that's because I just don't have these workers on gas. I have plenty of workers on minerals over here. I could use a few more over here. My opponent is just now starting to get his econ back up and running. We can see I have a massive ball of Lings forming in the center, 3 more infestors, 14 more Lings, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stop, send out 1 Ling behind the tall grass. These guys are going to kind of filter out, going to bait him out into the open, and I'm going to rush in, get a good surround right here with all of these Zerglings. Fungal growths coming down right on the middle. You can see just all free damage that these are doing, and the roaches just do not stand a chance. They're all going to explode. TheHype, I don't think he was quite expecting the Mass Infestors. I know that I wasn't. I was. Who am I kidding? I knew that they were coming. So this was just kind of a fun little ZVZ game. I'm putting it up on YouTube because I managed to hold off a roach push with Lings, and I'm kind of happy that I did that just because it's not an effective larva trade, and it's one of those things where, you know, how easy would it have been to send a Ling over here and check for a base? I mean, does it make sense that he had that many Lings, or that he was able to continue that defense for so long off of just one base? It didn't, and I was puzzled the entire game. So if there's a single takeaway from this match, it is, you know, don't underestimate your opponent. That one Zergling more than likely will not make or break the game. Send him out to scout, check some stuff out. You know, if I would have found this base earlier in the game when I was, you know, wasting all that money trying to attack on this, I could have gotten that. He would have been on one base. I could have contained, and GG right there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the game. This is Malikicowtipper signing out.